Excalibur Salem stared at the back of the head of Peppermint Lullaby as the figure walked ahead of her. The weeps, as she had discovered the creatures were called, floated to either side of her. Occasionally, the shepherd had to make a clicking sound with her voice in conjunction with the movement of the staff she carried in order to keep the weeps from wandering fully away. "Do you miss being alive?" Callie asked of the ghostly being. "Lass!" Bigwig admonished from behind her. "I think it's hard enough that my goddaughter is now as she is. Why bring up something that has an obvious answer?" "Curiosity," Callie replied. The watch captain growled after her, but before he could retort, Holiday stepped up close to him. "My daughter takes after her mother. Knowledge first, tact later. She's not being mean-spirited. She just likes to have a lot of information to process." "To answer her question," Mint said, turning to look at them for a moment, "I think it odd that the initial shock of not being alive is the only negative consequence of losing my body. I still do not remember the attack, which may be why I am somewhat aloof as to my own passing." "How about a question with more positivity?" Callie asked, waiting for a response. Her father was correct. She had always found making friends difficult. The truth of the matter was, she had never put much effort into socializing, as those around her in school had been less than interesting to her. "Are you able to walk?" The shepherd stopped for a moment before looking down at the ground. After a few moments, Callie watched as she gently floated to the ground, her feet touching the dirt. Swirling one foot in the path, Mint giggled. "Apparently, I can still walk. In addition, it seems I still enjoy the sensation of the ground beneath my heels. Thank you. By the way, what do your friends call you?" The question was asked as the shepherd walked back to her to extend an open arm. "Callie," she said, looping her own arm through the one offered her. "It's what my dad and sister call me. I don't really have friends outside of family." The weeps quickly darted ahead at the urging of Peppermint. "Calico," the shepherd said. "As your first friend, I think I shall go with something more personable. You're now the second witch I regard as a friend." "Who's the other?" Callie asked in response, still slightly blushing. "I like the name. Mind if I call you Pepper?" "See?" Mint said, half giggling. "Now you're getting it. No one else calls me that, so it shall be yours. Oh, and I also know of a witch called Pumpkin Havoc. She lives in New Salem. Is there any chance you're from a direct lineage associated with the city?" "No," Holiday said from behind them. "The original Salem was renamed from a similar name in reference to another city from a religious tome. Our family changed our last name due to it having problematic ties to a rather nasty mass murderer. Upon founding New Salem, my great-grandfather thought it would be a great new start to honor new beginnings. Mom hated it," Callie said, "but seeing that she wound up having a lot of bad taste, I think great-grandfather did right. Anything to put another jab in her direction." "Right," Bigwig said, seeing Mint give him a confused shrug. "The great and powerful and equally awful Eliza Salem. Why'd she keep the name if she didn't like it? It seems that dissolving a marriage would be the easiest way to part with a name you don't fancy." "To torture us," Callie said. "Cal!" Holiday shouted. "It's true," Callie said. "She kept the name to make people question whether we are heroics or secretly working for her. Everything about her is layer upon layer of plans. She and the Admiral even turned Scarlet into a weapon to prove their point. That's why she moved to another aspect. No one trusted her after all that." "Who is Scarlet?" Mint asked of her new friend. Long moments passed in silence as the three walked the trail, with the sun nearing midday. Birds chirped around them as the fringe trail continued along the side of the low hills surrounding the northern portion of the Atlas Central outskirts. Peppermint turned to watch over the weeps as they guided themselves forward. Her godfather began humming a tune that brought a smile to her thoughts. "Scarlet is my sister," Callie said after a bit in a soft voice that barely carried. Eliza Salem and a former human-turned-beast called the Admiral experimented on her to try and make her into a living weapon of pure magic. It worked. Transformed her so that she now has to wear a special suit of armor to keep herself in one piece. Oh, Mint said, but you two still love each other like sisters, yes? She watched Callie's face for a reaction. When the witch met her gaze, she held a half smile upon her lips. We do, Callie said, and she looks amazing in her armor. I'm working on several formulas that might help her transition back to her full human self. She even sent me a birthday card last week. Dad cried. Did not! Holiday shouted. We were running laps at the track. I had sweat in my eyes when it was delivered. Emotions are not something to be ashamed of, Peppermint said, taking off her kitsune mask. White tears were dripping down her face. I have been crying since I started walking. I may seem to be taking all of this well, but it all saddens and scares me. I died, and the only reason I can think of is I'm being used as a distraction. Bait. Bigwig rushed over to his goddaughter to wrap her in his arms. Tears streamed down his own face as he felt he was finally able to let the floodgates go. You're not bait. They're used to. Somehow all of the sinners on Bo and Peep. Until we can solve the mystery, we have to keep them safe. Oh, and together we will bring who did this to justice. I love you, Mint. Never forget that. I love you too, Uncle, she said, fully embracing her adoptive father. And with that, I will see you all in the near future, and thank you for listening.